If you grew up in the 80s, you know him. The older guy with the mustache, always seemed a little angry, remind you of your dad's boss. No, not Wilfred Brimley, not Charles Bronson, not Danny Glover. There he is, Dabney Coleman. He was most likely a huge part of your childhood without you even realizing it, because he was everywhere, and he's one of my favorite actors. I know, that seems weird, but does it? Let's backpedal a bit, and maybe you will understand why. Now, obviously, I haven't seen every Dabney Coleman movie or TV show, and though I was tempted to sit down before filming and watch everything he did, there's not enough time in the day. So let's skim over my personal memories of 80s Dabney Coleman, superstar and national treasure. So, my first Dabney Coleman movie was the 1980 hit comedy 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5. This was an HBO staple in the 80s, and I dare say I've seen it at least 100 times. No joke, I love this movie. I mean, come on, Dolly Parton, Jane Fonda, and Lily Tomlin? Then toss in the Dab Man? This was the pinnacle of 80s cinema. Dabney plays a tyrannical, sexist boss and eventually gets kidnapped by Dolly, Lily, and Jane.
Look, I got a gun out there in my purse, and up to now I've been forgiven and forgetting because of the way I was brought up, but I'll tell you one thing, if you ever say another word about me or make another indecent proposal, I'm gonna get that gun of mine, and I'm gonna change you from a rooster to a hen with one shot. Don't think I can't do it.
Shit. Lots of memorable scenes, and as a kid, I couldn't get enough. Especially of Dabney, who spends most of the movie being a jerk and getting himself into awkward situations. Sure, he wasn't your typical funny guy, he was no Tom Hanks, and he wasn't an action star with the rugged good looks of a Harrison Ford. But something about Dabney really made me laugh. I mean, look at him. Maybe it's his facial expressions, his timing, maybe it's just not expected from someone who looks like he's your dad's cranky boss. Whatever it was, Dabney was great at it. Then, shortly after, and again, thanks to HBO, I got even more Dabney when War Games came out. This is still one of my favorite childhood movies. Matthew Broderick plays a kid who hacks computers to find unreleased games, and accidentally finds himself almost causing World War III. Dabney plays a no-nonsense computer nerd who wants to have Matthew nailed to the wall for being a Russian spy. Dabney is a bit intimidating in this one, scarier than in 9 to 5, but his acting is perfect, especially in this scene where Dabney gets Matthew in a room and interrogates him with a little good cop, bad cop.
John McKittrick, I run the computer facility here. Lord, Sergeant, these aren't necessary, the handcuffs?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Dabney's character is both proud to show off what he helped create, but also pissed as hell that this punk kid cracked it.
We called your parents, we told them everything's fine. No charge has been filed yet.
And the interrogation is so chilling, especially as a kid. Dabney's in charge, but with a hint of nervousness. He knows everything rides on figuring out what happened. It's a great scene.
I don't think I should say anything else until I talk to a lawyer.
I think we better forget about the lawyer crap until I get a few answers out of you myself.
You gonna answer the phone?
And, in the end, Dabney has a change of heart. For a very brief moment at the end, you catch it. He smiles and rubs Matthew's head like a little puppy, and he lets Matthew do it back. But that friendly demeanor all disappeared with the 1984 Muppets movie, The Muppets Take Manhattan. Dabney plays an evil swindler named Murray. He's ruthless, angry, and I'll never get that image of him holding Gonzo by the nose out of my head. Now, by this point, this is the meanest character I've ever seen Dabney play. And it's fair to say the role in the Muppet Movie made me dislike him. I mean, I was a kid, and back then it was hard to separate the character from the actor. We didn't have all the behind-the-scenes footage and interviews like we do now, so this character left a bad taste in my mouth. Why would you be that way, Dabney? Especially to Muppets? I was also a big Gonzo fan, so it double hurt me. Then, even though it came out before War Games and the Muppets Take Manhattan, I saw the 1982 hit movie Tootsie. And again, Dabney plays a jerk. But I love him in Tootsie.
Honey, I'm sure that you're a very, very good actress. It's just that you're a little bit too soft and genteel. You're not threatening.
How's this? You take your hands off me, or I'm gonna knead your balls right through the roof of your mouth. Is that enough of a threat?
Start.
I think because the character was more like the idiot jerk from 9 to 5, you hated him, but he wasn't as mean as he was in the Muppet Movie. At this point you realize Dabney Coleman plays a really good jerk. Dabney played the jerk you love to watch. He wasn't a cocky jerk or a bully jerk, both of which were huge stereotypes in the 80s. No, Dabney often played the mostly harmless jerk who always got what he deserved. But then, everything changed with the 1984 action-adventure movie and other childhood favorite, Cloak and Dagger, starring Dabney Coleman and the E.T. Kid. And for the first time, Dabney is the hero!
Look, you killed the bad guys. You won the game. Well, how do you feel?
A young boy and his imaginary friend, Jack Flack, played by Dabney Coleman, end up on the run while in possession of a top-secret spy gadget located in a video game.
This microchip doesn't belong here.
What?
Take a look.
Now, this movie was every 80s kid's dream come true. Had video games, spy stuff, guns, adventure, three-fingered...
Something wrong, Davy?
Dabney also plays E.T. Kid's dad. At first he seems like a jerk, but in the end, he ends up being the real hero.
George!
Take my hand. Take my hand.
Dabney the hero. Look at Dabney. Look at him. Look at him coming towards you. Ah, Dabney. So within the span of 3 years of my life, Dabney Coleman went from the old guy with the mustache that's always angry and to the sort of action star hero of a kid's movie, and officially moved into my top 5 favorite actors list. On my list with the likes of John Candy, Rick Moranis, Bill Murray, Harrison Ford, Tom Hanks, Lily Tomlin, Eddie Murphy, etc. The list goes on, and he deserves to be on your list too. Side note, during all this, he also got to host SNL with Elvira and the Cars.
When they ask you to host the Saturday Night Live show, that means you're doing pretty well. Of course, it only took about a half a century, but...
He even got his own TV show called The Slap Maxwell Story. Dabney plays a sports journalist who is set in his ways. Unfortunately, his type of writing doesn't fit well in the modern world. And actually, he had 2 shows. The other was Buffalo Bill, that featured the misadventures of an egotistical talk show host. Dabney was running high in Hollywood. He was officially a superstar, but somehow also flew under the radar. Then, in 1988, he appeared in the movie Dragnet with Dan Aykroyd and Tom Hanks. Another favorite of mine, but Dabney's character was kind of different than his usual bad guy. A smut mogul named Jerry Caesar with a lisp.
How much do you figure a monthly run of your magazine is worth?
Well, let's just say it's more money than you'll ever see in your life.
Later on, he popped up in the oddball 1988 comedy Hot to Trot, starring Bobcat Goldthwait and John Candy as a talking horse. Some of you watching probably remember that. I was real excited about this movie. It starred 3 of my favorite actors of the time. Bobcat, Candy, and Coleman. I watched it a ton, again, thanks HBO, but Coleman's role was kinda silly, with the big teeth and the weird character.
Chicken shit?
Who you calling chicken shit?
Calling you chicken shit.
Okay, Freddie. I'll make the bet. My horse against your horse.
Sweetheart, you can't do that.
Sweetheart, what do you think I am? Chicken shit? That's a bet, Fred.
Including satin doll.
Including satin doll.
No, not my satin doll, too.
Darling, don't be a chicken shit.
It was around that time that my taste in movies started to change, and I wasn't watching movies he was appearing in. I was a grungy teen by then. Now, there are some movies I never got to see Dabney in. Some classics like the 1981 drama On Golden Pond, but after skimming over it, I realized he's been doing the same comedic stuff for longer than I knew. I mean, look it, this is classic Dabney.
What do you usually do at a time like this?
Well, generally, I just fall into the lake.
Just,
And he played it straight in the 1974 thriller The Towering Inferno.
Those people are gonna die up there if something's not done.
Now, we might just have the answer.
And by no means did Dabney stop acting. Maybe you've seen him pop up on your favorite TV show from time to time. I personally always thought he would be perfect in a Marvel movie. I still go back to his movies time to time. I even showed 9 to 5 and Cloak and Dagger to my kids, but they don't catch the same feeling towards him. I think the 80s were a different time, and Dabney is a product of those times. Subtly funny, great bad guy, even better good guy. Made you smile and laugh and cringe. His comedic timing was on point, and he acted with some of the best comedians of his time. Dabney Coleman is a national treasure. So thank you for backpedaling with me. And make sure to let me know in the comments what your favorite Dabney Coleman movie was. Thanks again for backpedaling with me. I'm Tig, and you are... Come on, man. Come on. Like, you can't make good mustache glue. It doesn't even stick.